A few weeks ago now, we reviewed a Priory +4. In that run, the group had a lot of trouble, but the person who submitted that was actually the focus of the video, that being their first time actually ever trying to push in Mythic Plus pugging, conquering their kind of anxiety, their fear of doing so. We got a follow-up email from her, and she has confirmed to me that she has accomplished Keystone Master for the first time. Congratulations. Alongside that, she has sent me a bunch of things that have kind of been roadblocks along the way. We're going to take a look at all of them today, and the reason we're going to do that is to show you guys what the path to success might actually look like. If you are new to pugging Mythic Plus, you may not be aware that there is going to be a lot of crazy failure along the way, and it is a crucial skill that you need to learn to be able to compartmentalize that. Don't let the few bad moments outweigh the great moments at the end. Let's take a look at what we have in front of us here today. The first thing on the list that was sent to me is her first disband ever, and this is a great place to start because you are going to have a lot of these. So we're doing a very conservative approach to the first room of Rookery here, and we are kind of just pulling one pack at a time here, trying to keep things stable. You see the tank actually taking a good amount of damage, so he knows his limits, and we're going to follow that. I have no idea what this evoker spell is, but good miss there. Really good use of that spell. I love that the guy fucking pings it too. Look at this. He misses with his spell or whatever. I have no idea why that's there, and then he pings it. Look at that. He just pings it like, yo, you got to bring those mobs back. Tank's not going to do that. He's actually going to combine into the next pack. He's actually going to try to bring those back, and now he moves those out of the mechanic as well. Charged forward, the fire thing, whatever that patches down, he moves out of that. So the evoker is probably a little on edge at this point. We finished that pack, and then yeah, back to really conservative strategies here. We can easily combine these two packs here. I do it all the time, but instead we're just going to pull the one, and that is going to draw some ire out of the evoker. He says, why are we pulling like this? Questioning the tank in a 5. I assume this is why we were pulling like this the whole time. Watch this tank's health. Okay, so he goes into it at about like 75%. Watch his health right now. This guy just gets deleted, looking like a blood warrior. I have never seen a prot warrior get deleted like that before. That's crazy. So that guy's gonna die. We're up to 13 deaths, and this is gonna turn into a full wipe here. But again, look at the timer. Just how joke mode these low keys are here. We are gonna pull the last boss here. Watch this charge, by the way. Watch this warrior use the charge spell. This is really funny to me. He charges like 5 feet. So it's really funny. Anyway, we are gonna fight the last boss here, and we are going to wipe to this and ultimately disband. And I think this is the moment that everybody needs to see and learn from here. Honestly, I've never done this fight as anything other than tank, so I really don't know what you're supposed to do here. Watch how this unfolds. The warlock is going to get the debuff here. We have to take this to the pillar, but the pillar is just covered in circles, and I think she tries to get to the far side of it to hit the pillar, and we just kind of stand in a circle and ultimately die. I think what we want to do here as the warlock is we want to just pause right here. I think if you pause right here, you won't hit the pillar, but you will live, and then you could just move again. I don't know how long you have. I think you have a good amount of time, so there's no rush here to run through these. Now, that is not what causes the wipe. Watch this evoker who's been backseating the tank the whole run. You see him right there? What's he doing? Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. Mechanics are optional. They fight this boss for like another full minute and then ultimately end up succumbing to the failure, and we get this comment from this guy. This is unreal. Yeah, I agree, actually. It's actually kind of funny how it ends, though, because they're coming back. The evoker's down here already. We get back here, and we probably are noticing now that we are short a full 4% count. That's not great. Monk is actually going to bring that up, says we still need 4%, and at that point, the evoker decides, oh, we need 4% still, so we can't upgrade this 5. I am out. There's going to be a lot of people like this, especially in lower keys, who are thinking they are way better than they are. This guy constantly pulls threat, fighting with the warrior the whole time. It's pretty clear this is a ego disparity. The warrior's actually like super calm. He dies once and says, my bad for it, and otherwise no words are exchanged. The only person talking in the whole run is the evoker. You're going to notice this. This is something you are going to run into 100%. It's very common in lower keys where people think that they are just better than the content that they are stuck in. Be able to deal with that. I guess TLDR, think about that from whatever perspective you need to be able to deal with it. For me personally, I think, these guys are probably just very frustrated one way or the other. Even if this is their normal behavior, it is not worth engaging in. They are only going to make things worse if you try, and they are beyond reason. Sometimes you got to just check out and just let these guys do whatever they got to do. Now we're back where it all began with another type of disband. This is another one you're going to run into. You're going to run into tanks that are causing way more havoc than they have any right to be doing. I think in general, you're going to see a lot of different flavors of this, and we kind of see a few flavors unfold just in this one run, but sometimes you'll have the really over-aggressive tank, and I think maybe that's a little bit of what we're seeing here. We do this pull. I do not think this is an abnormal start to this dungeon at all, to be honest, and I don't think there's anything inherently wrong wrong with this, but you know, the ads are just not coming into Melee. We don't have any way to have this happen, and the way you're supposed to do it is everybody's supposed to stack because they're going to jump towards players. So if everybody stacks, then you're not going to have this issue here. And yeah, you know, if you don't have that issue, then you don't have the issue that just unfolded. You see here we have, I think, an Ellie Shaman out there and just getting a social aggro from the patrol. So this is a really bad spot to tank this pack in. This is like a low-key trap. If you're going to try to do a really big pull here, you really got to consider doing it the way I do it or committing to pulling both knights. Looked at as a death sentence on higher keys, should not be an issue at all on lower keys. But yeah, once they social aggro in and people start getting the chaotic deaths, we are going to have our first wipe here to that. I think also you're going to run into tanks that kind of do stuff like this where it doesn't seem like they have like a cohesive route in their mind. Like the guy just tried to skip that patrol and now he's just going to pull it, and then the other patrol kind of walks into him. I assume this guy may not actually know what he needs in this area and he's trying to figuring it out on a whim. This is going to be a big issue in low keys, I think, and as the damage dealer or healer, you're going to have to try to do what you can to keep the group alive. Look at this group right now. It's super chaotic, especially with the extra knight, and especially you see here yet again we have a guy just literally like shooting her point blank. Look at that. The mob is like literally shooting right next to her. This is so funny. Other problem with low keys, you got to deal with these garbage affixes. So we are going to have a fix go off. Like we're going to fail to kill it. I don't even really know what the penalty is for it at this point, but we are going to do that. It's like a sliver of health left. You can't actually tell because it's got 1 health, but it does go off and it buffs the mob. Look at the comment in the chat after that happening. Focus that mythic affixed ghost. Hey, this great tip. I love low keys. Tank kind of just walking around. I'm not really sure he knows where he's going, to be honest. Just kind of walking around, pulling random packs together that really don't combine very well. Here comes the patrol. Where have we seen this before? This time it's the mini boss. He's just gonna walk right into him while they're fighting like 1 mob left there. Now this is funny. This is the affix moment here, right? Watch this. The affix is spawning. We're just gonna 1v1 it. Like, yeah, all right, guys, stop. We won't fight any other trash. Let's just really make sure we get this affix down this time. We're gonna sit here and wait for the patrol, which I definitely would recommend. This area is definitely skippable, and these packs are not great. 3 marksman guys here, so we're gonna skip those. That's a really good idea. I would definitely recommend do it. Oh, wait, where are you going? So you sat there and waited for the patrol. Then we turn around. Now there's causing some confusion because we know there's a patrol here. So we're trying to like hug the corner to fight these 3 mobs. Anybody want to place a bet? Yes, of course. The 4th time in the dungeon that a patrol is going to walk into them. Here it comes right now. There's the Kattensteins, I guess. They're cats this time, right? They're going to just walk into them. Spirit Link, full health. Everybody's full. Look at this crazy gameplay here from these guys. I really like this pull where we go around the side, around the back, and aggro all of this together. I think this is a really cool way to do this part of the dungeon. But again, the affix causes a kind of funny moment here. Mini boss is about to die as the affix spawns. So we sit here and fiddle with the mob. Now this is actually a bigger deal than it might look because it causes you to not get out of combat sooner, meaning that you get back to the spawn of the next mini boss slower and he's going to be in a worse position. So we are going to aggro the mini boss, but this trash is still here. So he's up there casting spells. Fire spells are flying and we have not aggroed either of these packs yet. So we've now aggroed the hardest pack in the area, plus the fire mini boss, plus another group of 3 mobs. Again, only a 6. As you see, we're getting rooted. We have all kinds of things to dodge. We're literally like moving from one mechanic into the next. It's really high danger here. You want to get this pack first. I mean, you want to combine these 2 packs and get them first, I think. It's pretty obvious because you cannot fight them with the mini boss, but we are going to have the tank go down there to that mistake and then leave over that. So yeah, certainly tanks out there just causing all kinds of havoc right now, and I would say that the lower you go, the more likelihood it is going to be that the tank is the one that causes the issues. Just keep an eye on that. Try to find people who actually have tanked before. This is really funny though, the aftermath after the guy actually leaves. They said trash tank. I have never seen that route before. I don't think he did either. I think that's the problem. The one guy says paper tank. Really not the issue, to be honest. I mean, he just pulled ridiculous trash that shouldn't really ever be combined in that way. He says these tanks all just pull such ridiculous pulls and new routes each day. They watch the MDI 1 time, and then I love the perfect serendipitous ending. We're gonna have the affix spawn again. That's just the perfect way to end this. Pay attention to this shaman. This guy's got a lot to say. The group's actually excited that they have a resto shaman in the group. Look, resto shaman, woot woot. The resto shaman, who is literally just invited to the party and people were celebrating their invite, says, guys, I don't know if it's because of the server, but I'm lagging. I think it's best if I don't go. From Nemesis, by the way. You went from not being in the key to being in the key and now talking about not coming. I have no idea why you would even sign up. Nothing gets said said it all. Nobody says a thing. Everybody's just like, all right, are you coming or what? Like, now they're here. Next comment from them is, but I can give it a try. Oh yeah, great. All right, cool. So you just told us you're gonna lag. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what this behavior is. Really strange. Everybody's fine with it though. They're like, yeah, okay, whatever. Just up to you if you want to go. Probably hard to find healers maybe at this level, so they're just fine with it. They agree that maybe restarting the game will help. After coming back, they said, I think we can do it. Oh, great. All right, perfect. Watch what this Demon Hunter says in response. I believe in us. Not so much me, but I think you guys can carry me to victory. So 0 actual issues up until this point though. We are going to have a duel here. The guy screams in all caps, kill me. Now, if you had your two-hander on, you'd kill this kid in half the time, but they are going to die, and then we're going to follow it up with a real death here. We are not killing the banner very well upstairs. As you see, we have to 5 stacks of the banner, and the shaman, who actually has plenty of opportunity to get out of it, misuses all of those opportunities. Try to catch it again. The shaman is actually going to leap into it. Watch, you see his character? Yeah, he goes towards the failure instead of away from it. That is our first death of the run, 9.5 minutes in. Here we are again, fighting the affix. We can't get away from this thing. It is so awkward to me fighting this thing after the combat is over. But watch what the shaman says. One-shotted. Leaped into your death. Yeah, you got killed by that. Yep. This guy's been playing a lot of Metal Gear Solid, I think. So we're gonna do some real espionage shit right here. Watch this. He says, wait, follow with me. Okay, so we're on a secret mission to skip this gas bag. Here it comes. Just gonna sneak right by, as I'm sure a million people have done a million times now. Probably not the shaman though, based on this response. They say sneaky. And it's probably a great idea to skip the gas bags though, because these mobs probably cause absolute chaos in low keys because they have a frontal and a backle. A lot of people probably don't recognize that. You end up getting hit by one or the other. I think it's a disorient, so you end up dying to other mechanics, kind of like that guy right there. There is the backle pointed right at us. You want to avoid that one. I imagine that one's worse than the frontal. Druid's gonna wait for a res. We used Soulstone on herself there. Druid's gonna wait for a res though. I don't blame him because we did that like espionage shit, so there's no way you're gonna make it back down here on your own. Gorechop with 3 deaths beginning, and things are gonna go real wrong for them real quick here. I don't know. I think people look at this as one of the harder fights in the game. As a Blood Death Knight, it's extremely easy for a few reasons. One, you can grip the ads, which I think is huge. Establishing threat on the ads is probably one of the harder things to do on the fight. Watch this swag play though. I mean, this is insane skill level. Watch, you get knocked back into the safe spot by that. That was definitely intentional, right? Of course, nobody else does the swaggy play. They're just gonna get killed here. Here it comes. Watch. Everybody's kind of just in it anyway. I think those 2 people actually just die to it. When it comes out, everybody's just standing in it. They're really slow to move out of it. Like, it definitely takes a few seconds for them to move out of it, and then as soon as it's over, 2 people are dead. So I assume 3 people in this group got hit by that mechanic, and 2 of them died to it. Warlock survived it, but that means now with no healer, the tank is also going to go down. Our top secret strategy here to skip the gas bag is back in play. We're back here waiting for him now. Druid gives a really, really important piece of advice here that I think you guys all need to see. He recommends not dying this time. But of course, Moo from Keldorai, not going to take his own advice. Come the fuck on. You literally just called it out, bro. How do you die? It's the same mechanic too, by the way. Just getting hooked in and killed. I think the thing is, like, the further you are away, the less time you have to move. But that guy didn't, like, have any issues with that. I'm not really sure why they keep dying to this. Partially due to that battle res on trash. We have no way to get the guy up, though. Not a huge deal, but we are going to have another big failure here. We actually have the same issue again. This is far less swaggy this time. We're running from the mechanic into the other mechanics, basically. And she recognizes that, and then she's like, shit, nope. Okay, so gets knocked into the hook. That was actually, like, a good catch from the hook. A good catch. So that's another death for her, and then somehow the tank dies too, so another full wipe. This guy just watched James Bond, so we're just gonna sit here and like, just fucking pull it. I don't understand. You wipe 3 times, you're gonna sit here for like a minute every time and just skip this one mob? Deep into the 3rd pull, still no real issues. The tank's health is quivering though. This is actually a really hard fight, and this is what we're talking about with Blood Death Knight. Another reason that Blood dominates this fight is you can death strike before and after the mechanic, and it is very, very, very easy. You could also, by the way, Icebound Fortitude the hooks, and with the set bonus, you will sometimes get an Icebound proc and be able to just walk through the hooks on your own if you want to. Monitor that, it might work out, but yeah, we are going to have another wipe here. Also, another problem with the affix too. The affix spawns, there's just a bunch of ads out at this point. We're doing the hooks. The ads are all over by the evoker over there, and we're just not going to get the affix ad dead, So again, whatever the penalty is, I actually have no idea what it even is, but yeah, that's going to be applied here again. And then perhaps because of that, the shaman is actually going to go down again as the healer. We do actually battle res the shaman this time though. We have the battle res back up, so we get the shaman back up. They're alive, but this time the tank does die on their own. We're watching their health bar and it seems like they're totally fine, and then all of a sudden they're just done. Like, I guess he uses the hateful strike at the same time, but yeah, just no defenses up. Druid's typing question marks in the chat, but they are going to continue. That is now 4 pulls on this boss here, 4 sneaky strategies. I just can't get over this. Is just cracks me up, the fact that they're still trying to skip this. This time it looks like they might do it, and the boss is super low, and you see 2 seconds left on Bloodlust, right? Look at this. Boss is in like the 10% range, and the tank is again going to go down to the hateful strikes. Watch it again. Here it comes. Hateful strike. 3, 2, 1. I mean, it hits that guy for well over 50% of his health. This is on a 6. There's no tyrannical at all, so we are going to have yet another wipe to a tank death on, honestly, I mean, I think this is really one of the easier fights. It's very, very predictable. I know it's a lot of damage and there's a lot of chaos, but I think if you're dying as a tank in this fight, you really need to reassess your UI and stuff like this. Remember the original comment, right? Here's the next comment made. Sorry all, I must need a bit more gear before this. I highly doubt that is the problem. Now, I think the reason this run is so interesting is because what happens now. You won't be able to see it, but the shaman says, am I the one fucking up? Totally unaware of what's actually happening as the healer, that the tank is dying. That's actually kind of crazy. Whoever keeps getting hooked 30 times over and over is the person fucking up. What are you even talking about? Did we do the same encounter? I actually have no idea. Like, one person gets hooked maybe like once a pull, nothing happens. There's no deaths, nothing even remotely wrong with that. The tank keeps getting killed. That is the actual issue that they're wiping to. The druid clarifies his position saying the chain wall does a lot of bleed damage, and that is going to be the end of the party. So this really should represent another big thing that you guys have to learn about here. There is a lot of just general no idea what's going on attitude happening in low keys, and this is the #1 reason you want to record your runs, because hopefully you can look back at them and learn from these mistakes. You may think like you've done something wrong here because she says the tank and healer can't keep up and I am acting like a fool on Gorechop as well. And so you could say like, all right, yeah, you got hit by the hook, you got knocked around a little bit and stuff like that, but these are very minor issues compared to what's actually happening here. This is a very binary pass or fail moment for this tank, and he is not able to meet it. These things are going to handcuff you. If you run into these and you are unaware of why you're failing, it may cause you to really withdraw into your own psyche. It may cause you to lash out at others. It may cause you to blame the video game. Like, you may actually have no idea what the cause is. This is why you need to record your runs, okay? Now I'm going to show you one more reason why you have to record your runs as well, because you will also capture the best moments. Enjoy.
Oh yeah, hear all that shit. Yeah. Yes!
She says, first time for me, never did Keystone Master before.
Yes! So excited. Oh my goodness, look how beautiful this is. Oh, I guess you need to defeat her, you open this window. Oh, this is awesome. Look how pretty this is.
Been playing 18 years, but I never did Mythic Plus. And I promise you, once you do and you accomplish your goals, you will never forget this feeling. This is what World of Warcraft is about. Hugging is chaos sometimes, and if you can embrace that chaos, you will find happiness at the end. I hope this is inspirational for you guys. If you guys have any feedback or anything you want to offer, please feel free. I think we're going to see a lot of great submissions from her in the future, so stay tuned. I'm really glad that she's on this journey, and I'm really glad that it's going so well. It definitely takes the right mentality to be able to pug Mythic Plus. Thank you for watching. We will see you guys in the next video.